6 magic words we use, or you can use to frame an open question. And an open question is one which requires a more thoughtful answer. And now I think a lot of people are afraid to do it because we'll come back to the words in it, but I think people like to ask open questions because they're hoping for a yes. And sometimes people will phrase a closed question in a way that almost demands agreement. So they'll say, "You'd like to make more money, wouldn't you?" Yeah, because they try to get into what they call the yes set, repeatedly saying yes, hoping that when they ask you to buy it, you'll also say yes. So, I mean, that may work, but it certainly doesn't work on anyone with half a fucking brain.
I remember reading that if you get your prospect to say yes 6 times before asking for the sale, you're X amount of times more likely to make the sale. Yeah, that's the biggest load of bollocks I've ever heard.
I think that's a load of bollocks.
You know, as you say, twist the knife, you know. So sometimes, are you happy with your current situation? If they go yes, that's not for that. Yeah, no, you want them to go, no, I'm fucking petrified. I don't want to move back in with my mother-in-law.
Exactly. So, you know, asking closed questions is almost safe because it feels like you are shepherding them down a pathway with your questions. It's like a decision tree. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, until you get to the sale. I think that's a very superficial way of looking at sales, and it's also a very naive way of looking at selling. And I also think it's the difference between what we call transactional selling, where you're just selling a hammer to hit everything that you see as being a nail, and transformational selling, where you actually want to know what these people's challenges are to see if you can solve them, if there's a way forward, which is what we do. You know, when we get people, while they want to join us in Foundations, say, or Elite, they have to go through an application process where we genuinely ask them, well, what is your problem? What is your fucking problem? You know, we ask them, what is your challenge? Now, we know most guys and girls are suffering from one of these 3, not enough clients, the right kind of clients, not enough for the right kind of prices, and no repeatable sales pipeline. Is there anything, you know, what else is there? And we will, and if they come to us with something we cannot or do not want to help them with, we'll tell them so. So we ask these questions, these searching questions to get information, not to steer them. That's the difference. Now, you can use them also to steer, but that's a whole level above what we're going to be talking about today, because it's quite a specialist skill, which we, of course, do have. Now, the 6 magic words then are which, what, where, who, why, and how. So it's the 6 W's, because how begins with W if you look at it in the mirror. Whoa. Yeah, but which, what, where, who, and why. And they require if you ask that question of someone and they go inside, that they answer it, they have to start thinking through their experiences and their situation to give you an answer. Of course, you're not guaranteed to get an answer because they just might not want to talk to you. So like a cold caller me and saying, "Hi, John, what is it you're looking for in your financial services?" "Nothing, fuck off. Go and molest some other child and shit through their letterbox, not mine." You know? So it's not guaranteed to it, no matter what the fucking sales gurus say. If your prospect is someone who's just not amenable to your approach, you ain't selling jack shit. So that's fundamental. But when you do have someone in front of you, say someone's approached you because you've got inbound marketing, not outbound, then you want to be asking, for the most part, not always, but for the most part, open questions. I mean, there is a place for closed questions, and I'll give you an example in a second. But for the most part, open questions. So, what is your challenge? How does that feel when this happens? You know? Where are you getting new prospects? What are you doing about your challenges? Who's helping you? Yeah? Who would you like to help you? Why is this important to you? How do you propose to do that? All these things require a bit of thought. And if you are clever with what you're doing, and I don't mean clever as in sneaky, I mean clever as in you're intelligent and you do have your prospects' best interest at heart as well as your own, you can steer them with questions like that, because you can, as we should, back the ambulance up to the door, make those fucking skeletons dance, and make them see the enormity of their situation. So a great example is that woman who told me she and her husband would have to move back in with her his mother-in-law, you know. So how would you feel about that? What do you think the outcome of that's going to be, or the effect of that's going to be on your marriage? And any plans to have children, say? That kind of thing, because she told me that she was wanting children and that was going to be a struggle. So a really simple way to do this often, again, asking questions, is listen to what you're being told by people and then feed back their answer to them and ask them how they feel about that. If they feel bad